Now I've got an interesting dry fly for you today, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. It's called an Antron Humpy, and it was tied by David Hunter for Poul Jorgensen's dry fly patterns for the new Millennium. Now it's not a bad looking pattern, but why I would hesitate to sit down and tie a dozen of these for my box is because I'm not really sure how well it's going to float. It's got a pretty thin body, and the hump, well, it's made out of Antron, as is the tail and the wing, as opposed to a much more buoyant deer hair as the standard hump he uses. But maybe that was his intent, an easy to tie dry fly that rides pretty low in the surface film. But it is a pretty cool looking fly, and you could tie this in any of your standard mayfly colors, or you could get crazy with some reds and yellows and call it an attractor fly. So there it is in the vise, David Hunter's Antron Humpy. Now it's certainly a unique looking variation of a standard Humpy. I'm going to tie this on a size 12. This is a 1 extra long barbless dry fly hook. And it calls for red thread. I'm going to go with a 70 denier. I'll just catch it in somewhere up front and take it back to the bend of the hook. Now the tail, body, and wing, just going to be some Antron fibers here. So I'm going to pull, it looks to be about 1.5 inches. I'll cut it off right there, enough to be the tail and your hump and your wing. And if I didn't mention, this was a single strand out of, I guess it was a kind of a 3-strand little rope. Okay, a few wraps over it, 1 or 2 under it. Now let's take our thread up here toward the front. Now let's catch in some silver oval tinsel here. I'm not going to take it all the way back yet because I'm going to go ahead and catch in my body material too. And the body, it calls for just a brown floss, which if I am honest here, I don't know that this is going to give us a thick enough body. You saw the one in the vise at the beginning. If I was going to tie a bunch of these, I might use something else for the body and just thicken it up a little bit. I'll let you be the judge of it when we get done. But go ahead and catch in this floss and this oval tinsel all the way to the back. Now we'll park our thread up here, a couple eye lengths back, and let's wrap this brown tinsel. And it's not going to give us a real thick body. I guess you could cord it up and just put a ton of wraps on it, but you know, that's kind of a lot of work. So I'm just going to wrap it up pretty much 1 layer all the way up front. Now let's wrap this tinsel up, and according to the picture in the book, they were pretty close together. Now here's something else, and they didn't really say in the book. I think you gotta kind of create this hump yourself. If you pull it up like that, that doesn't look much like a humpy. So just kind of don't pull it real tight. Just let a little, you know, leave it kind of loose right here, and then you'll get your hump. We'll do a pinch wrap and take a look at it, see if that's going to be a big enough hump. Yeah, it probably is. Pull it a little shorter there. I think that's going to be fine. But we are going to want to prop this up, and I might have gotten this a little more forward than I want, because I want a couple wraps of Hackle in front of it, but we'll see if we can make that work. I'm going to put 1 wrap around just the wing right here. Now a couple behind it, and let's catch in some brown Hackle here. Now what I'm thinking, this is about the only thing going to make this fly float, so we might want to get a good bit of Hackle in here. I'm going to actually take my thread back just a little farther so I can catch this in a little bit farther back. A couple tight wraps right there. Let's catch it in with 1 or 2 in front of it. Bend and snip this little excess right here. And now let's just wrap as many as you think you need to make this thing float. Can I get 1 more? I'm kind of crowding my eye already, so I don't think so. Let's go ahead and catch it off right here. I'm going to push everything back and make a little bit of room here for a whip finish. Okay, let's snip this excess, trim the wing, and see if we have any cleanup. Okay, I got a couple fibers going forward right here. Now, if I'm critiquing this fly, just looking back on it, I don't think this is a very high floater at all. Maybe that was the intent, but if I do another one, I'm probably going to do something else for the body, make it just a little bit thicker. So there you go, David Hunter's Antron Humpy. It's certainly a pretty unique variation, and I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.